Okay, next movie. If Milk set the standard for biopics in 2008, then 2009 is off to a strong start with Notorious, the story of the short but wildly successful hip-hop career of Christopher Wallace, better known as Biggie Smalls or the notorious B.I.G. He was a street corner rapper who made his money dealing drugs until discovered by producer Sean Puffy Combs.
Maybe in the right hands, I could be like one of the greatest.
How old are you?
19.
By the time you're 21, I'll make you into a millionaire.
That's Derek Luke as Puffy and Jamal Woolard as Biggie. Woolard was an unemployed, expectant father with no acting experience when he got this part, and he gives a remarkable performance. Soulful, conflicted, angst-ridden, and determined. And as a Brooklyn rapper himself, he pulls off Biggie's performances effectively as well.
BMG is on the mic, call the Undertaker, make an appointment and schedule an interview. Because you know what big man's about to do. 50 grand on gold.
Hold on. What'd you say at the beginning of your rhyme? B.I.G.?
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls, huh?
Biggie only lived to be 24. The circumstances of his death are much better known than those of his life. But this film tells a complete story. Biggie grew up with a single mother, played by Angela Bassett. He was a big kid, a smart kid who loved to rhyme and dreamed, figuratively, of a bigger life. Also credit to director George Tillman Jr. for avoiding so many biopic crutches. I really enjoyed this film. I think you should see it.
I love sitting here with a smile on my face, hearing you mention all these characters like Biggie and Puffy and all these hip-hop things. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Biggie. I grew up in New York in the 90s when he was really coming to prominence. And what I really love about the film is that you see the motivations of what inspires somebody to want to live this lifestyle. You see what they're dealing with their friends, their family, the hardships growing up in Brooklyn during that time and being involved in the drug trade are all, like you said, not a typical biopic, the crutches of a film like this, but are really just sort of emblematic of what he went through. It's very authentic, down to the locations, to the wardrobe. Biggie's mom was on set every day for the filming of this movie, except for the scenes in Los Angeles, of course, where he was murdered. So for a hardcore fan of his music and his life, it rings true, and that's what I was looking for going into this movie.
Really nice touch. Little Biggie as a small child, as Christopher Wallace, was played by Christopher Wallace Jr., his son with Faith Evans. And it didn't feel like a gimmick because the kid was really good, I thought, playing his father at a young age.
And I'm glad you mentioned Derek Luke as Puffy, because we have this image of Diddy now, but this was, 15 years ago. It was a different Puff Daddy than it was today. And Anthony Mackie played Tupac Shakur off-Broadway many years ago, has really his spirit in a few scenes here. So I'm glad we mentioned all the supporting characters. And the fact that you love a hip-hop movie really makes me feel good about myself. Well, it's the first hip-hop biopic ever. So it's pretty cool.
And I kept waiting, especially in a movie about Biggie, I kept waiting for the montage and the come to Jesus moment. And there was a brief come to Jesus moment that didn't work, but it was very brief. And the montage was very short. I mean, George Tillman really managed to stay away from, as I mentioned, those cliches. And I think that ended up really enhancing the film.
Absolutely.